G'day everyone and welcome to Andrew's Art and Models. Today I have a kit review for you from Forces of Valor, the German King Tiger, and art ends December 1944 in 1/72 scale. Now, this is an interesting little kit. It is very well priced, so it's on the lower end of the cost spectrum, shall we say. And I wanted to buy a couple of these kits just to check them out and see what they were like. And everything comes bagged, so it's all nice and neat and bagged in there. And we're just going to go through the sprues and check out what we've got. So we've got single piece tracks. Oh no, I had pre-cut this and everything, and I've done it wrong. One moment, sorry everyone. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay. So we'll start off with the tracks here. They're not too bad. They're reasonably accurate. They're a little bit out of shape though. If you can have a look there, you can see that the molding has just sort of warped. So that was a little bit depressing when I first opened that. Hopefully once you take them off the sprues, I'm going to see if I can straighten them out a little bit with a bit of warm water. Just soak them in there and see if I can get them back to shape. They might go back to shape just coming off the sprues there. So that was a little bit surprising, to be honest. But yeah, little crew figure, once again, molded in the black rubber. It's hard to see the figure or any details on him, especially when he's facing the opposite way. We're just going to turn him around there. And he's not bad. You can see how small he is. I'm not going to paint the figures. Figures are not my strength. Plus, I'm also worried that the paint's going to chip off these guys just because of what they're made from. So I'm not going to bother going to all the effort of painting them up just to have the paint flake off those parts. I will do it on the tracks, but I'm concerned when it comes to figures with that. So just call me crazy if you like. But let's move on and have a look at the hull assembly. So the hull, once again, all the parts come back, so everything's nice and neat. The hull assembly is really quite surprising. You've got your front fenders on there, which was interesting to see. It's molded nicely, so all the injector pin marks and everything like that are hidden behind the underside, so you're not going to see them. You don't have any cleanup to do on the front, really. Why do I say it's surprising? It's got a higher level of detail than what I was expecting, to be honest. It's, as I was saying, this is a very, very reasonably priced kit, and I was expecting something a little bit more bland than this. Now, that said, there's still room for improvement. So you can see the hatches on the front there, they've just got little blobs of plastic where the little handles go. I mean, that's pretty hard to mold in, little handles and things like that. But at least you can see where the position is of them. So if you want to change them, upgrade them, you can. And then you've got the vision ports there, which you can also alter. Same as on the back. Curiously enough, you've got the four little hooks they have on the back of the engine deck there. But yeah, they're just little lumps of plastic really, but at least they're trying to replicate the detail that's there. There's no photo etch grills or anything in the kit, but it's an inexpensive kit, so you're not expecting to get all those extras with it. The tool on the side here is probably a little on the light side. You can see how it narrows as it goes along. So that's going to be hard to paint. So be careful with that. But other than that, it's fairly nice. The underside is quite good as well. Detail on the underside of the kit is, yeah, as I said, it's nice to see. It's molded well. Injector pin marks are on the underside in the inside. So you're not going to have clean up stuff like that. And the road wheel or torsion bar arms are quite nicely done. So yeah, pleasant surprise to see. About the only thing I can see that's going to really cause you a bit of a headache is there's no, you can see on the top of the hull there, they've put in a very basic line cutting line from where the steel would have been cut to put the tank together, but there's no corresponding lines on the underside. So I'll probably change those anyway and update them. Just, they look a little bit heavy in some parts, and the detail on them is a little bit basic. So I just wanted to cover that when we had a look at this section, because there's none on the underside of the hull there. But that's okay, it is what it is. Moving on to the turret, we have the underside of the turret there with the connections and pin marks hidden inside, which is fine. The rear of the tank, got your tool setups there, that's nice to see. Your little wooden block, everything's there, so it's good. There's a slight, it's hard to see, I'm trying to get on the light, but there's a slight deformation on this part here. I would just, it's only very, very slight, but you might see it once it's painted. It's hard to see now. Just trying to get it to stand out, and I can't really get it. It's just over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand that piece down, because there's a little line running from that hole there up to the top corner there. So I'm going to sand that down just to make sure we don't see that once it's painted, and it's not going to be in the way. Moving on to the top of the turret. Nicely molded details. Once again, the handles need to be fixed. The weld lines and the cutting lines need to be fixed on this as well if you really want to super detail it. But otherwise, everything is pretty much present and accounted for. The hooks for the spare tracks are a little bit on the thick side, so I'll just show you. On the thick side and very basic. So if we have a look at a 1/35 scale one, this is one we built recently. You can see the detail there, how the little hooks come out and come up, and there's the little sections in the center as well, which are missing. But I mean, that's the detail on 1/35 one. You're not expecting that level on a 1/72, but they're fairly simplistic. So taking those off and replacing them with little bits of wire is probably, and not a little bit of wire, a little bit of plastic card, little styrene strip, is probably not a bad idea. It will be very fragile. Same as on the rear there. You don't have the little handle, and the details are somewhat soft on the back of the tank. So plenty of room for improvement. You do have, looking at the first sprue, you do have the spare tracks to go on the side there. So if you're going to leave them off, go to the trouble of detailing that side. If you're going to put them on, I probably wouldn't bother, because I don't think the plastic card's going to stand up to holding up all that well with them on there. Then again, it's up to you. We have the little tow hooks, which are nice. There's 6 of them. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody, we should only need 4 of them. So to see 6 of them, I'm quite happy, because I will probably lose 1 or 2 as they fling off the sprue into the rest of the room, never to be seen again. But yeah, so it's good to see some of them there. Tow cables and everything, all included, all nicely detailed. And there's your gun manlet for the front there, for the coax. And it's not too bad. Not too bad. Moving on to the road wheels. So we have the external road wheels, and we have ones for the internals as well, if I'm not mistaken. So these should go together nicely. And I like the idea of solid sections. I've never built a Tiger or a King Tiger or a Panther or anything with overlapping road wheels in this scale before. So I like the idea that they're all together. No, it makes it nice and neat and easy to do. Molding wise, the molding on them is actually fairly crisp. Details are quite good, and seam lines are minimal. So there are still seam lines on the road wheels, but they're not huge, monstrous things that you're going to spend forever sanding down. And they look quite good. Dry sprocket detail, a little on the soft side, as is the return roller. Would have been nice to see a little bit more detail in those there. So just zoom in on that so you can focus on it. You see what I mean though? I mean, it's missing the edging around the side, and they've got little bits of rivet detail and nuts and things, but it's just not rivets, I mean nuts. But it's just not up to what you'd want, really. Now, let's have a look at the instructions. Okay, so it gives you a little bit of a blurb on the vehicle there. Pretty standard fare. Equipment needed and to build it, and your part counts here. So all straightforward. And it has your paint scheme there with your colour call outs on the bottom. nice and simple. And construction wise, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this part because it is pretty straightforward. You can see there, you put in the four, the group of four, and then you put in the other ones over the top of that. Nice and easy. Moving on, then you put the detail parts on top of those. So it should be very quick and easy. Certainly a lot quicker and easier than doing individual little road wheels. I mean, that could get a bit tedious in this scale. CA glue, so use some CA glue to glue that together. Don't use your model glue because that probably won't work. And continue on as you go. So nice and simple, straightforward construction. Just moving on, sorry. All right, onto the turret. Little pivot for your gun there, so you put your gun on, you should be able to angle it quite nicely and easily. Hatch for your commander's hatch, that's in the open position. I'm going to see if I can put it in the closed position. I don't see why I can't. There may be a little bit of surgery required, but I should be able to get it in the closed position. And there go your tracks, your spare tracks for the turret. And away you go. So done. It's very, very simple, straightforward. Should be an easy build. I'm curious to see what the fit's going to be like. I haven't built one of these kits before, so hopefully the fit is nice. And the last but not least, we'll have a look at is the decal sheet. Now this is very simple, the decal sheet, and we're just going to open it up, check the register, see what it looks like. It's not too bad. Not too bad, but very simple. Right, so we've got the green with a little bit of a white on the outside of it. And I'm assuming that's a unit insignia. But yeah, very basic decals, whatever you want to call them. Very simple and easy to do. Certainly not going to spend much time on those. All right, so Forces of Valor, King Tiger, 1944 Ardennes. What do I think? Coming in at probably the lowest price of the King Tigers in this range, it is what I expected. I wasn't expecting a stellar, hugely detailed kit that was overly complex. I was expecting a simple kit that would go together quickly. It is good for beginner and intermediate modelers. So intermediate modelers, you've got a project that you can sort of super detail and have a bit of fun with, and it's not going to break the bank if you wreck it. For basic modelers, once again, they can get started and do whatever they want to this, and it's going to be a nice display piece when it's finished. So it's a good introduction to armor modeling. I'm glad I bought it. I'd consider myself to be an advanced modeler. I know that sounds a bit arrogant, but I would consider myself to be an advanced modeler. I've been doing it for 20 plus years, so I should be better than a beginner, hopefully. And I'm still happy that I bought this kit, so I'm still looking forward to having a bit of fun with it and playing around with it and seeing how we go. But yeah, I would definitely get this kit. As I was saying, price point, it was the key for me, and it certainly is worth every cent that I spent on it. So I'm happy with it, and I'd recommend this. Another thumbs up from me. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please put them in the comment section down below. And if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to watch out for more videos coming onto this channel. We're going to have more kit reviews, more builds, everything. Everything's coming up, so keep an eye out. And yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll see you for the next one.